In the cold winds of the far north, where snow blankets the mountains and seas crash against rocky shores, the people of Scandinavia told stories of gods unlike any others. These were not gentle saints, nor distant guardians watching silently from the heavens. They were fierce, flawed, powerful, and unpredictable, gods who could bless a harvest or destroy a kingdom. To the Vikings, these gods were not myths. They were real. They guided warriors in battle, gave wisdom to kings, and decided the fate of the world itself. Beyond the world of men, across the shining rainbow bridge called Bifrost, stood Asgard, the home of the gods. A golden realm where Odin the Allfather ruled, Thor the Thunderer protected mankind, and Loki the trickster spun lies and chaos. These are the gods of Asgard, whose legends thunder across 1,000 years, and whose power still echoes in our imagination today. At the heart of Asgard stood Odin, the Allfather. He was the one-eyed god of wisdom, war, and poetry. But Odin was no gentle father. He was a restless seeker of knowledge, willing to sacrifice anything, even parts of himself, to gain wisdom and power. The old sagas tell how Odin gave one of his eyes to drink from the well of Mimir, a magical spring that held the secrets of the universe. From that moment, he saw the world differently, understanding fate, prophecy, and the hidden truths of men. Yet the price was high. He carried the wound forever, his empty eye a reminder of his endless hunger for knowledge. Odin also hung himself upon Yggdrasil, the great world tree that connected all realms, pierced by his own spear, without food or water for 9 nights. He did this to unlock the mysteries of the runes, symbols of power that could heal wounds, curse enemies, and even shape destiny. Few gods would dare such a sacrifice, but Odin was never afraid to suffer for power. To Viking warriors, Odin was both a giver of victory and a bringer of death. They believed that Odin chose the bravest warriors who fell in battle and sent them to Valhalla, his great hall. There, the dead feasted and fought every day, preparing for the final battle of Ragnarok. But Odin was not just a god of war. He was also a god of poetry, magic, and wisdom. He inspired skalds, the Viking poets, who sang sagas of heroes and kings. In Odin, the Vikings saw the truth of their world. Life was harsh, full of suffering, but knowledge and honor made it worth living. If Odin was the wise but distant father, Thor was the hammer that defended gods and men. He was the son of Odin, the god of thunder, storms, and strength. With his mighty hammer Mjölnir, Thor struck down giants, trolls, and every threat that dared attack Asgard or Midgard, the world of men. Thor was loved more than any other god. Farmers prayed to him for fertile crops. Sailors asked his blessing before setting out on stormy seas. Warriors carved his hammer into amulets and wore them around their necks, believing Thor would protect them in battle. Stories tell of Thor's great adventures. One of the most famous was his fishing trip, when he cast a line into the sea and hooked Jörmungandr, the world serpent, a monstrous creature so large it encircled the entire world. Thor pulled with all his might, lightning flashing in the sky, but before he could kill the serpent, it slipped back beneath the waves. This battle was a glimpse of the future, for Thor and Jörmungandr were fated to meet again at Ragnarok, where both would destroy each other. Thor was not cunning like Odin, nor tricky like Loki. He was direct, honest, and strong. He represented the courage and strength of ordinary people. Every time thunder rolled across the sky, the Vikings said it was Thor riding in his chariot, hammer in hand, keeping the giants at bay. Even today, his power lingers. Thursday, the 4th day of the week, is named after him, Thor's Day. The protector of mankind, the champion of gods, Thor was the heart of Viking faith. But what is order without chaos? In the halls of Asgard lived Loki, the trickster. He was not a true god, but a shapeshifter born of giants, who earned his place among the Aesir through cunning. Loki was charming, clever, and dangerous. He could solve problems with quick wit, but often created disasters with his lies. Loki's stories were full of mischief. He once cut off the golden hair of Sif, Thor's wife, just for amusement. To avoid Thor's wrath, Loki tricked the dwarves into forging magical treasures, including Thor's hammer Mjölnir. Many times, Loki's tricks nearly destroyed the gods, but often, only he could fix the chaos he created. Yet there was darkness in Loki. He was the father of monsters, Fenrir the giant wolf, Jörmungandr the world serpent, and Hel, the goddess of the underworld. The gods feared these children, for they knew they were destined to bring ruin. Loki's greatest betrayal would come at Ragnarok, the end of the world. The trickster who once laughed among the gods would lead their enemies, giants, monsters, and the dead, against them. His fire would burn Asgard itself. The Vikings both loved and feared Loki. He represented the unpredictable side of life. Laughter one moment, destruction the next. He was a reminder that chaos is always part of the world. Though Odin, Thor, and Loki were the most famous, Asgard was filled with many gods and goddesses, each with their own power and stories. There was Freyja, goddess of love, beauty, and magic, but also of war. She chose half of the warriors who died in battle to come to her hall, Folkvanger, while Odin took the other half to Valhalla. Freyja was a symbol of passion, desire, and also fierce strength. There was Balder, the shining god of light and purity. He was beloved by all, but cursed by fate. Loki tricked Balder's blind brother into killing him with a spear of mistletoe, the only thing that could harm him. Balder's death was a wound that never healed, a sign that Ragnarok was approaching. There was Tyr, the god of law and bravery, who sacrificed his hand to bind the wolf Fenrir. His courage was honored by warriors who valued honor above life itself. There was Heimdall, the watchman of the gods, whose keen senses could hear grass grow and see to the ends of the world. He guarded the rainbow bridge Bifrost, and at Ragnarok, it would be Heimdall's horn that sounded the final call to battle. And there was Frigg, Odin's wife, the goddess of foresight and motherhood, who saw the future but could not always change it. Together, these gods made Asgard a realm of both light and darkness, love and war, wisdom and fate. The gods of Asgard were not perfect. They lied, they fought, they loved, they suffered. Unlike distant gods of other cultures, the Norse gods were almost human in their flaws. That is why the Vikings believed in them. They reflected the struggles of life itself. These myths shaped how the Vikings lived. They believed that courage in battle was the greatest honor, because death was not the end. To die bravely was to feast in Valhalla. They believed that even the gods themselves were doomed at Ragnarok, but that did not mean despair. It meant living each day with strength and pride, no matter the fate. Even today, the gods of Asgard live on. Their names appear in our calendar. Tuesday from Tyr, Wednesday from Odin, Woden's Day, Thursday from Thor, Friday from Frigg. Their stories fill our movies, TV shows, and books. From Marvel's Thor to epic fantasy novels, the gods of the Vikings are alive in our imagination. The myths remind us that strength comes with sacrifice, that chaos can never be fully tamed, and that courage matters even when the end is certain. The Viking Age ended 1,000 years ago, but the gods of Asgard never truly died. They live in thunder, in stories, and in us. The next time a storm rolls across the sky, remember, perhaps Thor is still riding, hammer in hand. The gods of Asgard may be myths, but their spirit sails with us forever. If you enjoyed this journey into Viking mythology, don't let the story end here. Like this video, subscribe to Eternal Viking for more tales of Norse gods, warriors and myths, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which god of Asgard do you want us to explore in detail next? Your support keeps these legends alive. Join the saga. Join Eternal Viking.